Hi, my name is Talia. Welcome to Talia Nerds Out. This is the last in a three-part video that was all recorded on June 1st. Probably going to be spread out a little bit just because I never know when I'm going to be able to record or not due to energy limitations. So it's better just to get it done all at once when I'm able to. And just spread it out. Maybe get shorter videos that way. Huh? So previously I had recorded one video on books that I had finished reading since the last time I recorded, which was in May. Books that I was currently reading, and now I'm covering books that I want to read, like, soon. Because I have a ton of books I want to read. We don't even want to look at my full TBR. Most of these are ones that all of these are either ones that I own or ones I can get on Libby or Hoopla. So the first one, I'm going to show the books that I picked up recently, so they're also going to be ones that I want to read or I am currently reading. The first one I'm going to show is one I'm currently reading, and I showed this last time, but like I said last time, I was previously trying to read this by listening to it on Audible, but this book doesn't lend itself towards being an audiobook, at least not for me. I couldn't focus. So I am reading Migraine by Oliver Sacks in physical form, and I'm getting a lot more out of this because I do get migraines. I'm hoping to understand migraines a bit better because they can be kind of complex. I am actually currently trying to work on one, I think. I'm getting a lot of neck tightening and heaviness that I tend to get when I get a migraine. Hopefully it won't progress farther than that. But, also apparently June is Migraine Awareness Month. So I think that maybe I'll try to read this a lot more in June. Maybe get a decent way through instead of like 16 pages. So, oops. No. Books down. Okay. Then this next one, I can't get the tag off of this one, which I guess is a sign of a true used book. A different book I was reading suggested this, and I'm always looking for relaxing reads that I don't mind going to sleep to. Because my problem is a lot of times I want to read before bed, but I don't want to fall asleep reading the book because I want to be interested in it, so problems. This one is actually meant for reading in bed. It's A Bedside Book of Saints by Father Aloysius Roki. And he actually tells you, hey, don't read this all at one time. He has it set up so that way you can read a bit of it and just go to sleep. He describes it being like a patchwork quilt, where it's just like, this is truly a bedside book of saints, crafted like an old-fashioned quilt, a colorful thing of threads and patches meant to brighten the bedroom and lift the spirits of souls wearied by the day. So it's just supposed to be some light, relaxing reading that'll hopefully send one off to sleep. So it wasn't expensive, and it's a thin little book, but it'll just be my bedside book, and it'll probably take me a while to read because I'll hopefully fall asleep shortly after starting each part. And then the next one, I might end up reading this year like I thought I might. So, because I have quite a few neurological things going on, I was looking for more things on neuro, even though my background in nursing was cardiac, and that's where my interest is always. Hang on, let me check my alarm. There we go. That's where my interest has always naturally gravitated. But even though as a nurse I hated neuro because it was so subtle, I'm finding that because I have a lot more neurological issues, I want to learn more about neuro, wanted more neurological books. One of the ones I picked up was called Gray Matter, and this one really spoke to me. So here's the cover. Let's see. The light is not helping matters. There we go. By Dr. Levy, MD. Gray Matter, a neurosurgeon discovers the power of prayer, one patient at a time. Gray Matter is a riveting page-turner rife with pathos, compassion, and real-life medical drama. When highly respected neurosurgeon Dr. David Levy decided to ask his patients whether he could pray with them prior to surgery, he had no idea what to expect. What if the surgery went poorly? Who would be to blame? What if it went well? Would God or science get the credit? And how would introducing prayer into the surgical process change his patients' and colleagues' opinion of him as a surgeon? While some patients found comfort in Levy's request, others were skeptical or even downright hostile. But in the end, everyone, even the good doctor himself, was transformed by the experience. And apparently it gives not only the personal aspect with the praying with the patients, but also a pretty good glimpse into neurosurgery itself. Part of why I'm interested is there is a pretty good potential that I will need neurosurgery, possibly this year, due to one of the medical conditions I have. It will be my second neurosurgery in almost as many years. I had my last one the week before Christmas, 2019. But apparently my neurosurgeon prays with people beforehand. So I've been informed. I don't remember. I've been told by family members he prayed with us. Anesthesia apparently took that memory from me. But apparently he prayed with us. And so does this neurosurgeon. So my goal, I'm not going to start this right away. I'm going to start this once it's been confirmed that I need neurosurgery. And then I will wait until like a week or so before neurosurgery, and then I'll start reading this, because I think this will be comforting to have before that point, to just sort of have this with me. Now, I know afterwards I probably won't be in a brain space, but thankfully, look, the text is pretty good sized, so I won't have to work that hard to read it. And it looks like it's a pretty easy to read, like the style too, which is good, because I'll probably feel pretty awful. This looks like it's a pretty painful one to recover. I mean, neurosurgery is painful. But yes, I look forward to reading this. And yeah, looks like a good book. Then the next one, and I might read this sooner rather than later, because I mentioned this in the last video. I really don't have a lot of fiction books going, but I've been meaning to start the second book of the series since I finished the first one. It's A Lady's Guide to Gossip and Murder, and it's a Countess of Harley mystery. Sorry, I had something floating in front of me, probably some yarn. It's the second book in the series. It's by Diane Freeman, and it's set in Victorian times, and it's a bunch of Victorian era mysteries. It's written in first person, which I'm rather enjoying. I'm really enjoying the characters. They really feel real. They feel like they actually have personality and stuff, and it sits very nicely with the Victorian backdrop. So I think this author has done a very good job of doing what some historical fiction writers don't do quite as well, which is marrying good character writing with good, oh gosh, I am having trouble with words, it's been a long day, with setting the scene, giving you a good taste of what the era is. Sometimes it feels like they choose one or the other, and sometimes both suffer, to be quite honest with you. I had one book that I don't know how I finished. It really didn't do either justice. But I do have a few historical fiction books I like. Not lots. I'm really picky in that way. Really picky in a lot of ways of books. But this one was a surprise. The first one in the series, I found it by accident on Amazon, and the title grabbed me. I read the first book on Libby, and now I have the rest of the series, and she's currently writing another one now. It's on I didn't get the pre-order. I'm waiting for it to come down in price. But yeah, I do intend to read the rest of her books, because I feel like the first one was really enjoyable. If her style continues in this manner, she'll have me as a continuing fan. Which it's nice to have someone who's currently writing their book. Now back to my history books. The next TBR, this is one I've actually wanted to read for a long time, but the price just will not come down on Amazon. So I found that it's available on Hoopla, so I will be reading this on Hoopla eventually. It's A Daughter's Love by John Guy. There's a lot of John Guy books I've been wanting to read. He has one on Thomas More, and he has one on Mary Queen of Scots that I want to read. But this one is about Thomas More, and I think it's his eldest daughter. And they had a really good relationship. She supported him, I think in ways that even his wife didn't quite understand why he made the choices he did, why he chose not to bow to Henry VIII's demands. But his daughter was apparently a huge support. We have, from what I understand, a lot of their letters. So I'm really looking forward to that because I really don't know a ton about their relationship other than the basics. And I'm really interested in hearing about that. Can't remember her last name because she did get married. But yeah, so I'm really looking forward to reading A Daughter's Love by John Guy. The other one is Opening Skinner's Box by Lauren Slater. So this is the same author who wrote Blue Dreams that I'm currently listening to on Audible. Opening Skinner's Box is another Audible book by Lauren Slater, and it's about the great psychological experiments of the 20th century. So that's going to be fascinating. I know of some of the psychological experiments. Some of them were quite horrific. I'm thinking of the one where they had college students where some were supposed to be the guards and some were supposed to be the prisoners, and you saw how eventually they lost track of reality and the guards really became quite sadistic. And some of these kids, I think it took one escaping to eventually alert people to the fact that, hey, we've got a really real problem here. This experiment has gone off the rails. And I know there was another test, I think they call it the monster test. That's what it's called now, where it was dealing with stuttering and I remember the vague basics of it. The ones on kids are very difficult, and most of the ones I know about the tests, they're psychological. I think I know from listening to podcasts and stuff. But I'm interested in Opening Skinner's Box. I expect to see some things that I'm already familiar with, but I'm interested in seeing how Lauren presents them because I'm enjoying how she's presenting Blue Dreams. Then the next one I found out from a friend. We studied in nursing school together half an eon ago. She was my studying partner and probably the only real reason I passed nursing school. But she suggested this book called The Poisoner's Handbook. Yes, my study partner is apparently just as disturbing a reader as I am. No wonder we are friends. But it's a book by Deborah Bloom, B-L-U-M. I'm going to say Blum like plum. That's probably not right. But it's Poisoner's Handbook, Murder and the Birth of Forensic Medicine in Jazz Age New York. So this will be interesting because I've done a lot of British like true crime development of forensics. I've done a lot of that in British history. I haven't done American yet. So this will be a nice change of pace. I think that, I know this is a Hoopla book, just like the past two were, but I can't remember if this is an audiobook or a Kindle book. I kind of feel like this might have been a Kindle book. And I'll throw up the cover for all of these things afterwards. Let's see, then we've got the Scalpel of Scotland Yard, The Life of Sir Bernard Spilsbury by Douglas G. Brown. And I picked this up a while back. I do intend to read this, if only for the awesome old book smell. And this is, again, this is another forensics in British history book, which apparently I've got a minor obsession about. But this sounded really good, and I look forward to reading this. This is another one suggested by Too Fond of Books. And the last one, to complete my circle of creepiness. This is one, I think I've owned this on Kindle for a while. The title's kind of fun. We'll All Be Murdered in Our Beds, The Shocking History of Crime Reporting in Britain. And this is by Duncan C. Campbell. Now this is the one that, my screen just went away. Okay, hopefully it's still recording. Okay, so We'll All Be Murdered in Our Beds, The Shocking History of Crime Reporting in Britain by Duncan C. Campbell. Okay, do you guys say Campbell or Campbell? I say Campbell because there's a P there. Just curious. Because I get made fun of all the time for actually pronouncing the P in Campbell. Because apparently most people say Campbell. That sounds weird to me. Anyway, what do you say? Am I just the weird one who says Campbell like everybody says I am? Anywho. So I find this interesting. I kind of feel like this dovetails nicely with the one on the invention of murder, how Victorians reveled in death and detection and created modern crime. I feel like this might really dovetail with that because that one talked a bit about the press and crime, and this one talks about crime reporting. So it digs more into that. So I'm interested in this. And this might be, if I do choose to start another nonfiction book to replace The Ice Pick Surgeon, it might be We'll All Be Murdered in Our Beds. Because I don't have a true crime type book going right now. I don't think. No, I don't. No, I don't. So yes, I'm missing a true crime book. Obviously, I need one. Because must have. Okay, so that is what's on my TBR at this moment. Oh, no, wait. I'm missing one. Where did it go? Oh, I skipped right over these couple ones. Heh heh. I just went past like 4 books. Okay. This is another one suggested by my study partner from college. This one I found on my own. This one was something Goodreads suggested after I finished the Heart Healers. It said, if you like the Heart Healers, you might like When Death Becomes Life, Notes from a Transplant Surgeon by Joshua D. Mesrick. And I was like, yes, please. So that's available on Hoopla as an audiobook. So I'll be listening to that once I'm done with Blue Dreams. So I'm trying to pick up the pace on Blue Dreams because I'm really interested in When Death Becomes Life. Then after that, now this is one suggested by my nursing school study partner from eons ago. My last career was in psychiatric nursing before I'd stopped working. And she has worked quite a while in psychiatric nursing as well. I never intended to do psychiatric nursing. I don't know if that was her intention either, but somehow we both ended up working cardiac and then later on psychiatric. So, go figure. But she suggested this book called The Human Magnet Syndrome, Surviving Narcissistic Abuse. And this is by Ross Rosenberg. And it sounded like it was a very interesting book. So I look forward to listening to that. I find the human mind to be very interesting, and some of these disorders can be very fascinating. Not necessarily to live through or with, though. Interesting from a clinical perspective. But, so I'm looking forward to listening to that. Then I found this one, I think just by going like off of suggestions on Hoopla. Or maybe, oh, I know why. I think I searched this one out after I read the one about the invention of murder. They mentioned Madame Tussaud a bunch of times, so I found a book on Madame Tussaud, and it's by Jerry Walton. So I'll look forward to reading that at some point on Hoopla. And the last one is honestly one that I've been wanting to read for a long time. It will not come down on price on Kindle, no matter how many times I check it on Amazon. It's called Edward II's Nieces, the Clare Sisters, Powerful Pawns of the Crown by Catherine Warner. And I know nothing about the Clare Sisters, but that title fascinates me. So that's probably going to be started after Catherine Swineford, which works because Edward II think he's the one who's king at the time. I don't think it's Edward III. Poo. Pretty sure it's Edward II. Let's see. Maybe it is Edward III. Okay, yes, sorry. It is Edward III. Wait. Yeah, Edward III. So I'm sorry. This comes after the Clare sisters. That makes sense. Edward II was married to, what was her name? He put the Eleanor of Castile. He put up the Eleanor crosses for her that you still see some of them along England, like Charing Cross, a couple of other crosses that mark. I think he put up 12 of them that were along the path where they traveled before interring her body. Yeah, if you are interested in what I remember as being actually quite a lovely love story, Edward II and Eleanor of Castile. But apparently there's a story with the Clare sisters. Really interested in hearing about it because I know nothing about them. Okay, so now I truly am done. I have no idea how long this lasted. Thank you very much for joining me today for my TBR. Hope that you have a very blessed day, and I will hopefully see you whenever next time happens to be. God bless. Bye-bye.